Welcome back everybody to my playthrough of Astroneer. This is episode 38 and we're back on silver. Dawn is dawning, is that what dawn does? There's the sun rising in the east. Yep, definitely the east. And last episode we collected, I forget if it was, I think it was 3 snails from different locations, and we're ready to go and get the last snail and complete our snail collection. Golly, I'm doing a lot of repetition there. In between the last episode and now, I have done a little bit of preparation and tidying. One thing I did, I have moved, I didn't move the rails, but I moved my canisters here, the whole collection, back a little bit to make more room for my rover. So this is my main drive through for my base. I drive through here and head out in this direction, or drive in this way, come through this way. I've got a couple of empty platforms here that I use when I'm stacking up ready to go somewhere, and I have been to every planet and moon, making sure my base has all it needs. And I should have been making notes as I went along, really, because it's annoying to have to travel around checking. But I've supplied every base now with 1 trade platform and 1 large shredder. I think one of them, possibly Glacio, has an extra large shredder, and ultimately every base will have an extra large shredder as well. But large is good enough for most things if all you want to do is occasional trading for scrap. Large can fit any medium or small item, so it can shred something like an auto arm if you don't want it anymore, or a let me see, one of these medium generator. I'm not going to shred that one, but you'll find the broken ones all over the place, and it'll shred one of those. It will not fit this platform, the large platform. You need extra large to fit the large inside. The problem is, even with the extra large, not everything fits in, and there are many items you will need to break down with some explosives, i.e. dynamite, in order to be able to use those effectively. So it's not a cure-all, but if you have an extra large shred at your base, or take it away with you on a rover and use it elsewhere, you've got a fair amount of ability to get things done. Now, one of the jobs I have done is a little bit of tidying up with my production. I want to have a slightly better storage arrangement, but I've mostly got what I need here. I did consider going to the extra large silos, also these big silos like up in the spaceship there, because you can get 12 canisters right onto one of those. But I think they'd be a little bit easier. They're a little bit easier to see like this, because I can either go low to see the symbol, or I can go high to see the symbol on both sides if I'm looking for a particular resource and I think I'm going to recognize the symbol, or of course I can just put my mouse over to see what's going to be there. So we're going to get our last snail, but before we do the last snail, we're going to just collect up the 3 that we collected in the last episode. We already had 3, and we've now got 3 more. I've got a little bit of scrap on my back. You can always scrap anything small enough to scrap if it's a tank. So that's giving me like 1/5 of a bit of scrap there. It doesn't matter, it all builds up in time. Just want to clear my back of that space. Oh, the other thing I did, well, one other thing I did, I'll probably remember other things as I go along. I put this proximity repeater here, and what this does is, oops, if I don't pick it up, that is, I have to use it, not pick it up. It'll activate anything within its proximity, and then, so what it did was it popped all those different plants, and then it replanted the ones that could be replanted. Now, it's not going to replant them if they sit on top of another plant. So, for example, that one hasn't planted because it sits on top of another one. Ditto these ones. Of course, I don't need hundreds of plants planted. So I would say if you have 2 or 3 at each base, that's quite sufficient to keep you going. For whichever of the snails you prefer using, if you use any of the snails at all. I have to say, in my run-throughs, I've had a habit of not really bothering to use snails. Oddly enough, the bounce vine did not uproot. I think that one you have to do by hand, and that's required for one of the snails. I forget which one, but one of the snails does like bounce vines. What we're going to do then is call back in. I picked up this bounce vine seed that I'm now going to not be able to pick up the snail. I'm going to pop that down there, and we'll call in the snails from our tracker. So reclaimable, Atrox, Visenia, Novus. So we should still have, yeah, we've got 3 snails over there, and we've got 3 snails here. So these are the 3 we picked up in the last episode from Atrox. It is Enoki, helps carry heavy items. I have to say I've never bothered with Enoki. Princess, that's the one I think I might actually use. Prevents all damage aside from suffocation. Well, I'm not going to suffocate because I've got my portable oxygenator, and Stilgar was helping us with the oxygen until we had that. And Rogal provides power, but again, by the time I got him, I've already got tons of power, so I didn't really feel the need to mess about with that. I also unlocked a few things in the catalogue just for use, like the shredders. And we need to verify our Atrox snail, because we haven't done that yet. So let's pop that one on there. Okay. So just a few bites. By this point, I mean, maybe if you visit all the planets early, that might be worthwhile. 250 bytes really is peanuts at this point. I have over 500,000 bytes, and I think at that point I actually switched off all my research pods because I didn't see the point in getting any more. I see many episodes of people going on about infinite byte farms. I don't know. I ask and I never get a response. What do you need infinite bytes for? What do they do for you? There are events during the game. Every once in a while they do one for Halloween, they do one for Christmas, where you can go around, collect stuff, send it off on the not the trade rocket, but the special one. I forget, Exo Trade Rocket, I think it's called, Exo Trade Platform, and earn rewards. And that's kind of a way of keeping the game active for people who want to do that. But this is chords. You make the bytes as you go. You don't have to have them in your resources, or you don't have to have them ready to go. You create them. So having bytes doesn't help. You've got to make more bytes. I'm going to grab a steel. I think we have right here in silver, we have one probe somewhere that I've tucked away in my tidying. I also produced a power sensor here. That will tell you, it'll basically activate things when something is out of power or is producing power, depending on how you set it. Gained or lost, gained or lost. So you can set it 3 different ways: power gained, power lost, power gained or lost. And it will activate things. Now, I have put on my buggy, which I'm about to drive in, not a power sensor, but a battery sensor. And this is on charged or not charged. Whoops. Charged or empty, charged or not charged. So only empty or not empty. So it goes 3 ways: charged or empty, charged or not charged, empty or not empty. So you can detect whether a battery has charge in it or not. I've set it to charged or not charged, and I've attached it to the squeaker horn, and I've stuck it kind of out of sight on my buggy. My back apparently will be sat against that, but no matter. This means that every time I slightly discharge the battery on my buggy, the squeaker horn will go off, and that's about to happen. And then, if the wind blows, it'll recharge the battery. It doesn't take very much. There we go. And it's recharged the battery for me. So it's obviously vital to know, absolutely vital to know whether or not your battery is fully charged on an electric vehicle before you set out, or at any time. Now, there we go. When the wind stops, of course, I'm using a little bit of charge out of the battery, and it alerts me to that fact. And this way, I can never be caught out with an uncharged battery. So I think that's very, very vitally useful for anybody who's serious about their electrical vehicles. Now I'm going to just park this one up, ready to head back. So that was my route. I think we did that last episode. A nice straight road from here to my base. My base over there. It wasn't... Yeah, it's about as straight as I could get it anyway. It does go up and down a little bit, but it's an easy road. I can also, of course, hoverboard across it. Anyway, we're heading to Glacio to get our final snail. Also to get the probe that's on Glacio. The other thing I did off camera was make sure that every base has at least a couple of QT-RTGs. I had all those ones printed out and I had failed to successfully distribute them. A couple means I'm always going to have at least some power at any base, never going to be completely stuck there waiting for something to happen. That is Glacio. And I'll always have power I can use on the rover, so I can always take one of those and just pop it on the rover at any base. And I've got power to get around on the big rover. Something I've thought of doing here is, when I'm at the centre of a planet, if I open all the gateways, I can get confused over which one. I'm not going to remember all 7 unless I write them down. Which one is the gateway nearest my home base, so I can just quickly go to that. And I'm thinking maybe a signboard. You can put up at what's called a large active storage. It's... Is it large or extra large? Yeah, not that one. Or even though I could use the figurine platform, but I think it's the... This thing would be a large signboard on which I could post a number 1, 2, 3, 4, N or S, and that would tell me if it's node 1, 2, 3, 4 north or south on that planet that I want to go to. I'll open that now, and of course zinc, aluminum, resin, all available on the base planet, and you can stand that one upright, so you can, as soon as you arrive at the centre of the planet, it'll tell you, if you want to go to a particular node with your home base, that's the one you want to go to. Okay, and because we had 100 items, we can take our QT-RTG. Got 3 on there. That's sufficient, so I'm just going to pop this one over here. So this was one of my research areas. I was researching argon. You'll see that in a previous episode. I've stopped that for now because I just don't see the point in continuing to collect bytes. What I did here was I collected a seed. Let's pop it over here by the garden. I did not collect Princess. but I can always do that another time. So I'm just going to plant that, and then I've got a seed here. It's going to grow when I pluck it. There make 2 seeds and so on. In fact, 2 plants really at every base. I've got 6 of these here. That's way too many. I might just pull some of them up and let the... Come on. There we go. And this one. Just let those seeds die off. Just make a little bit. I don't need 6 of those plants right there. 2 will do. 1 I can plant. 1 I can pluck and plant 2 more seeds. 1 I can pluck and take the 2 seeds, and that gives me an hour's whatever that particular snail does. Okay, we want to find the snail. So the snail... Oh, come on. This one. A glass rod has been drawn to the frigid calm of the frozen world. Scan its discard shells, detonating ice chunks. Detonating ice chunks. Okay. Do I have any explosives here? No, of course I haven't. Why would I have those? Why would I have explosives? Maybe I'll find some. In the meantime, oh yeah, there was a large, over this direction, there was a large crashed satellite, and I stripped it of all the stuff inside, and then I filled in the hole. I blew it up with a bit of explosives, which would be useful now, wouldn't they? And there's one bit of it left over there which I didn't blow up yet. This thing's actually visible from orbit. It's big enough that you can see it from up in space, at least not when it's lying down. It'll probably fall over in a minute. There we go. So, I didn't get around to blowing that one up yet, but I could, or I could just leave it there as a marker, if I wanted to mark something from space. Okay, I need to get underground. So let's take the rover, I think. And remember where our pathway down to the ground was. I think it was over, yeah. We only make the one now, and it is where the train tracks go down. This is our main entrance to the underground. All others I plan to seal off or not use. So here we are, underground. Now, here's a nice chunk. Here's a nice chunk, but I don't have any explosives. 1. And I presume if I had the what's-his-face... Oh, there's 4 right here. Is that 4? Yes. Okay, well, that answers that question, doesn't it? I'm not going to waste my time going looking for any more. These will do. I'm going to dig them up because I don't know how well they explode if you haven't dug them up. But also, if I dig them up, I can put them all in one group. And the explosion should catch all 5 at once. If it doesn't catch all 5 at once, then I'll have to do a second explosion. So that's 4 of them right there. Here's a 5th one over here. Oops. Can I bounce on top, or is it gonna? It's gonna roll away. There we go. So if I hit that central one, the explosion should also break the other 4. Now, because I'm so highly intelligent that I forgot to bring any explosives with me, which I didn't know I was going to need, I'm going to quickly use my gateway. I've got a steel on me there, I'm going to take that off. I'll pop it on the train and remind me later that my probe is on the train. And we will use our gateway to go to Calidor, pick up some explosive materials. Oh yeah, this is the one that's half covered in snow. Calidor is there. All my gravity falls going the right way, fortunately this time round. And 4 is our home node on this occasion. Okay. Have I stored up any explosives? Possibly not, because they can be a little bit dangerous. I could have gone back to Silver and just picked up the dynamite. I was trying to be clever. Usually not a good idea. Okay, I will have three spaces on me. So, the chemistry lab is not set up for explosive powder. It is now. So we'll set that going. We'll set this going to produce organic. Set that going, and the smelting furnace is going as well. I had a lot of spare canisters at this location. I don't know why I had so many spare soil canisters. I don't see that I'm ever going to use all those again. So I'm going to do the dirty, and I had some organic right here. Might as well put that on. I'm going to scrap them. So the large shredder will fit 2 small items, or 1 medium. The extra large shredder will fit 4 small items. Or, what you can't do is shred resources like this. So I can't shred that resin, but I could turn that resin into a small canister. And then shred the small canister. So if you want to just create the scrap and you can't be bothered to go looking for any, you can turn things into scrap if you're smart about it. Something else I did here was I put a couple of spare canisters down at most locations and at least 1 medium storage silo. Now this is my can for just collecting scrap. If I end up with more scrap than in 1 can, I'll just open up a second canister. How are we doing over here? Onto the, oh, yep, we have 1 explosive powder. We have 2 explosive powders. There we go, dynamite. 3rd explosive powder, let's grab that. In fact, I could grab a 4th one. Just in case, that 4th one will go into the printer slot on my backpack. That used up all that sulphur, but you see how a little bit of gas goes an awfully long way. Okay, back to Glacio. Glacio is going to be the furthest. If I don't mess, I do seem to be falling the right way. It's only if I try and mess around, wave my arms around, that I get confused and end up falling the wrong direction and ending up on the wrong side of the core. Okay. So I need to make a better entrance to my base of the way in. Okay. I will blow it with what I've got because I don't know how many snails I'm going to carry. I also need to make a better indication of. This is probably ready to pluck, so I'll harvest that one. Get 2. So that shows it only takes about 5 minutes, perhaps, for those plants to grow. Now I've got enough. Should I wish to call in Princess for protection, that'll work. And let's grab a medium storage. Why I jumped off my hoverboard. Okay, and here. Now, of course, maybe not every ice chunk has a snail in it, so I guess we're going to find out. Oh, that was supposed to be on that one. It looks to me like they did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also got some free hematite and quartz and a research item. So I might as well collect those while they're here. So what did I have? I had 5. I mean, maybe that was under the ground, but I think that came out of the stone. Actually, the rock here is so hard, that didn't go nearly as deep as you sometimes see, did it? And some of that I dug before we started. Okay. Whoops, it made me pick up the hematite, which I didn't mean to do. Okay. Not too worried about the research item. I'll put this back on the rover. Didn't really need to bring the rover down here, did I? It was a step too many, but I like to leave it up near the camp because we're near the base, so I don't get lost. That railway track is waiting for something to be done with it, and probably I will use that to set an auto extractor somewhere, and then it can bring things into the base. Yeah, and I took this down and I kind of blocked up my entrance, so I need to move those things. Okay, Glacio shells. Here's terrarium. And It's going to want some soil. Doesn't have to be a full canister. What else do we need? Specific items. Pop coral and argon. Pop coral, see, that's interesting. Interesting you should want pop coral because that's so basic, it's on every planet. However, pop coral. Sorry, that was our argon, wasn't it? Let's go and get the pop coral. I think it's going to occur. Pretty sure we're going to find it underground quicker than we're going to find it on the surface. I just fell that big hole I am making. So one thing people usually do after they've dug all these big pits around their base is eventually get tired of falling in them and fill them in again. I see a boomerloon. I thought that might be the one for this plant, this creature, because there we are, pop coral. Boomerloons I think are unique to this planet, so you think that he might want that particular seed, but apparently he doesn't care. He or she, I don't know if you can tell with snails. Okay, pop coral. And we're going to need a tiny trumpet, aren't we? Which, again, people who think ahead on these things would have these things ready. And people who just did this on the fly will find themselves missing an item and have to spin it out of soil, which they could have set going while going to get the pop coral if they had thought of it. There's a spare little windmill. Is there any space? Got so much stuff being produced here already. I'll put it down here for now. So much energy going around in this system. I'm also going to grab my steel and make the probe scanner. Okay, we've got some resin. We need a trumpet. Hopefully that was quite nearby. Okay. Small trumpet horn. Well, that's convenient. That's too quick. Let's take this with us because save a little bit of effort there. Back at base. Whoa, that's a long way. It's ready. So he needs to be verified. I wonder if you can carry these things without the hoverboard if you've got that snail, the one that I think you get on Atrox. Oh yes, over there. These research pod tops can be scrapped, but they can only be scrapped in the extra large shredder. You have to get one of those. And I think you get 3 pieces scrap from each one. You get a fair amount. So it is worth scrapping them. The other problems you see, they don't attach to anything. So getting them to the shredder can be difficult. It might be easier to get the shredder to them on a rover. Right, let's divest ourselves of these items that we no longer need. I'll hang on to the jetpack in case I need to get up high. We'll bring up our compass, or not, as the case may be. That direction. Okay, and it could be an awfully long way, so it's rover time. That's another. Won't let me pick it up because it's only a partial item. So with these partial items, it's very annoying that somehow if you get a partial item, they're stuck. The only thing I can think to do with that is just going to be there forever. It's just hide it like that, and then I don't have to think about it anymore. That's scrapped, and I had, what was it, 14 in the can? So now it's 17 in the can. So I think that top gives 3 whole pieces of scrap all by itself, which is enough for 2 pieces of tungsten or various other, well, not wolframite, various other things that are sometimes hard to get in, hard to reach places. So it is worth having a scrapping machine at every base if you can bother to get around to it. Now, compass, scan, it's right in that direction, so I'm going to head my rover just left of that big so it doesn't look so big, does it? Go this way, and I'm just going to pave so I can keep going in a straight line. Might glaciers are really like to travel on compared to somewhere like Lucania or Atrox. I don't know why they put it as like one of the last planets in the calendar, given that it's the second to last snail. Now, I had already done something here. Is this? Oh, there's a. Okay, it's one of those, isn't there? I'm going to just dig that out and pop it down on the ground so I can spot it the next time when I'm on this road. As we know, chips aren't always as easy to find as one might like. Oh, it's really close. Look, it's that's what's going on. Did I already visit this probe? I think I did, and I didn't have a probe scanner. Maybe I just saw it. This was the one. It's right down here. Here it is, the probe, the Pioneer. Oh, hang on. I've already scanned it. But I'm still picking it up. Interesting. I wonder what happens if I scan it again. Can I do that? Apparently what happens is you... Well, hang on. What? It doesn't have the little thing now. So... I can't pick it up. It's too big and heavy, it won't let me pick it up. Which means I can't scrap it, I guess. So it's just going to sit there forever. And I could even dig it down to the core of the planet, and it would just sit there forever. Not sure what use that is to anybody. So I had actually already scanned the glacier. I guess I should look at that more carefully in the future. So all I did was waste a bit of steel because it didn't achieve anything. Okay, well at least it wasn't too far from the base. We'll nip back to, well, yeah, we didn't bring the shuttle, so we'll nip back to Glacio. That'll probably have to do. That worked. So I have a nice, smooth approach to my base. Now, back to Silver, so Glacio, and we'll call in the snail, and we'll finish our snail quest. Silver. Didn't want to go from this angle. Sometimes it just doesn't like the angle you're at. And oh, it wasn't 2. That's why 2 is not the live one. 3 is the live one. And okay. I think I've already been to this. I haven't got... Oh, I do have... Okay, I have got some scrap in my backpack. So that should scrap. That's too large. That would scrap, but it's not been dug out. And this would scrap. These actually fit on a medium base, so that will go into the large scrapper. But I haven't got any way of carrying it unless I leave my buggy here, which I can. Because I have a nice smooth road, so I don't really need the buggy, it's just I like driving the buggy. I need to stop and smooth out that little bump at some point. I think I had a bit of a wibbly wobbly here too. So my idea here was the scrapper is fairly close to where I'm approaching from. And these items are also, of course, scrap is obviously scrappable. You can scrap power cells, you can scrap oxygen filters. None of these things are useful at this point in the game. Actually, power cells, yes, they do have use. If you put a power cell, I think I discovered, on a... which one do I want? If you put a power cell on an unpowered item such as this is not connected to the main power of the base. it'll keep any lights lit. So all these lights, these floodlights, these lights over here, are all powered by a power cell. And if I didn't have the power cell on there, they would all be switched off. And to prove it, just disconnect that. Oops. See the other work lights go off, and the power cell is, where did it go? Oh, actually, so this is not the power cell. This is the QTRTG, and there's a windmill. Take that off and they stop working. Okay, so the QTRTG was powering everything. Let's use the power cell. Do the same thing. So no power, power, power. So you don't need to waste QTRTGs and other materials powering things. We're powering lights, because the power cell, the lights draw so little energy they don't actually even give a rating. So that power cell will never die. It'll be there forever, but it's also turning all the lights on. So that's handy. Okay, let's stop messing around with that. Grab our snail. We will need to... Oh, we never took Atrox back off the base. Okay, we've verified. All together now. Out compass. I had some bytes there that I didn't collect. All together now. Use data log and slot or glastropods. Okay, sonic array hatch. Whatever that is. I was gonna, sorry, get rid of my compass. Okay. So data log is over here. Use button to activate. And we have a set of slots here. Now let's think. Princess is the one I think I'm going to use. So I'm going to pop her on the nearest slot. Usagi also, I think, is one we haven't used much. We'll put Sylvie in the middle. Improves drilling. I don't really see that as necessary, so I'm going to pop them on the far end over there. Power. Not overly impressed. I haven't needed power. Fills tanks. Well, Stilgar, you did sterling work. We'll put you up there. And movement of heavy items, never really necessary in my time. So that's all our snails together now. And if you enjoyed that, you can actually, anytime you put all 7 back on at the same time, you can hear that song. It'll play it again. In the meantime, I have completed a mission, I think. Lab suit, yet more QTRTGs. So there's 2 more QTRTGs right there on the landing pad. They bounce off because they're made of rubber. And final entry. I've set the command to jettison the nursery. That's left. All that's left is push the button. If you're reading this, please take care of these little ones. I cannot save the Triton, but maybe I can save them. So we get to understand maybe this thing, this exobiology lab wreckage, is either the Triton or part of the Triton, the bit that had the lab attached to it, because it is the lab. And Dr. was his Stone? Dr. Yar, who's the guy who got all excited about the gastropods. Wanted us to save them, and we have, so yay. I'll grab my RTG. Haven't really got a use for it because I've got these things again spilling out of my ears now. I'll grab one of those QTRTGs. So I think that's the end of this episode. I will just pop these down here for now to remind me to do something with them. I'll get my jetpack ready again. We still need to do the probes. And I've had problems with the probes in the past, so I think that's an episode of its own, finishing off those probes. And then a mission popped up. Help. Track this mission to complete it. Elysium crew assistance required. Emergency. I am stuck. Help, 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 help. Hit the green button. I'm not going to hit the green button. I will save that for another day. But that mission was not there before we completed the snails. So it looks like that's an extra mission that comes up late in the game. And then also we've got all these Silver, Calidor, Visania, Novus. I've got a lot of tracking of probes to do. So I think what I'm going to do is next episode do the tracking of probes, and then we'll do that final help mission and see what's that's all about. So thank you for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.